It's about the student taking ownership of their learning and wanting to learn, being excited about learning, being excited about reading and writing.
Sometimes when you get that fall diagnostic, you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? How am I gonna get this sea of red and yellow to the finish line times 20?
I love the report that shows you what they can do and what they're going to be able to do.
Your first initial one is usually shock. And then you start looking at the names, and then you start looking at their faces in the classroom. And then you're like, how am I gonna get this child to the next level?
What we also challenge our students to do is to share that with their parents so that parents understood where they were and where they wanted to go. And they're pretty savvy about identifying what they are capable of doing.
I like to use the data with the students for them to make goals. When they set goals for themselves, they'll take ownership of it.
In goal setting, you sit with our student and we look at their diagnostic and going over that and saying, hey, this is your scaled score. I'm gonna try my best to find resources that will help you obtain those aspects of growth. And so they can track their progress with little dots and charts.
I see a huge change when students actually take ownership of their data. This isn't a where you're at, it's where you're going. And what can we do to get there?
One of the things as a school leader that I try to be very intentional about is celebrations. I think celebrating those small wins makes a big difference.
I don't care if you're in kindergarten level, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that you move from that kindergarten and you continue growing and growing and growing.
He moved from kindergarten to late second grade. That's 2 grade levels in a year's time.
End of the year one, I love to talk with parents to say, hey, look how far your child has come. It's exciting, especially for those EL students that came in with very little language and now where they are.
One of my most proudest moments using iReady was when my first student on there who had an IEP was in special education in preschool. He had grown 312%. And I was just like, wow.
We ask a lot of teachers. Teachers have a lot on their plate.
Feeling valued as a teacher is huge. One thing that really hits home is when I have an EL parent that thanks me. Just thank you for teaching my child. Thank you for being in their life.
Not only are we using iReady effectively, but also creating that school culture and that positive school climate that we all strive for in our schools.
I look at this as my ministry. I come in every day to make a huge impact on little bitty people who are gonna go out into the world and do big things.